Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing from Adiba, and this is my prediction for Stephen Fulton versus Naoya Inoue. And to be honest, this might be the biggest fight of the year. Yeah, I know Errol Spence is fighting Terence Crawford on July 29th, but I'm more invested in this fight. And to be honest, I see this as a 50-50 fight, and I believe the winner of this fight all depends on power. If Inoue's power fully translates to 122, then Inoue wins this fight by stoppage. But if it doesn't, I have Fulton winning this by decision or a late round stoppage. Both guys have the ability and talent to beat each other, but in my opinion, and based on the current betting odds, I'm picking Fulton to upset Inoue. The biggest narrative going into this fight is that Inoue's power will be too much for Fulton, and it's a pretty valid argument to make. Inoue has knocked out 21 of his 24 opponents across 3 different weight classes, while Fulton has only stopped 8 of his opponents in 21 fights. It's safe to say that Inoue's power is his biggest asset, but what happens when he can't rely on that power solely? Boxers that move up in weight will eventually hit a ceiling. This happens because they're fighting naturally bigger guys that are used to fighting other naturally bigger guys. This usually results in less knockouts and the reliance on other skills to offset that power difference. Tito Trinidad hit his power ceiling at middleweight, Manny Pacquiao hits his power ceiling at welterweight, Nonito Donaire hits his power ceiling at 122, and James Toney hits his power ceiling at heavyweight. And all of those guys took losses to the top competition at those weight classes. And I believe the same will happen to Inoue. Don't get me wrong, Inoue is a talented boxer-puncher with speed, accuracy, counter-punching ability, and ring IQ, and has already beat opponents based off of his skill when he faced opponents that were able to withstand his power. But Fulton is a naturally bigger man that has a chin. A lot of people use the Brandon Figueroa fight to discredit Fulton, but in that fight, Fulton showed that he's durable and knows how to survive and withstand power. And along with being a naturally bigger man in all aspects, including height and reach, I believe that Fulton has the skill set and style to deal with Inoue. Another narrative regarding this fight is that Inoue has not fought a guy like Fulton. The same can be said about Fulton, he's never faced a guy like Inoue. But as stated in a previous video I did, I believe this narrative applies to Inoue rather than Fulton. The vast majority of Inoue's opponents stay in front of Inoue. Paul Butler is the best example of an opponent using lateral movement and fighting off the back foot. Despite stopping Butler and winning every round, Butler's movement and defense presented a challenge to Inoue and his power, frustrating and annoying Inoue. Fulton, on the other hand, is considered an elite slick boxer at 122. He utilizes lateral movement, can fight off the back foot, has good defense, has shown durability, can stick and move with the jab, and is a good counterpuncher. But Fulton is a versatile fighter. He can and he will fight opponents on the inside and has shown great ability fighting on the inside. Clinches, frames, punch placement, defense, toughness, and heart. We haven't seen Inoue fight a slick boxer, nor have we seen Inoue fight on the inside before. Fulton's style will be something new for Inoue, and Fulton has a skill set that has historically been good at dealing with punchers. The most prominent example is Bernard Hopkins versus Tito Trinidad, and I have a feeling that this fight will play out like Hopkins versus Trinidad. The puncher will be dismantled by the bigger and more craftier fighter. But if Inoue's power does fully translate to 122, it's likely that he will beat Fulton. Inoue without a doubt will be the fastest and most technically sound fighter that Fulton has faced thus far. This is what makes Inoue such a deadly puncher. He's accurate, precise, and patient with his approach. Inoue has shown the ability to outbox his opponents and also hurt them at any given moment. Fulton has good defense and is durable, but he has been hurt in the past. The biggest concern I have is if Inoue is able to get to Fulton's body and put Fulton on the ropes. Fulton has a tendency to shell up along the ropes, which then leaves him open to body shots. Many fans also feel that Fulton does not have the power to keep off Inoue, and personally I don't believe that, but if that's true, Fulton will be in trouble because Inoue will be in his face all night. If Inoue's power does translate, I can see Inoue hurting Fulton in either an exchange with a counterpunch over the jab or to the body, and if Fulton does get hurt badly, I can see Inoue closing the show. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing from Madiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content coming your way.